I'm not that interesting. Well, my name is Dennis, as you said, and I'm a slam poet, and I'd like to do 3 separate poems on 3 people who inspire me the most. The first poem I'd like to do is about my late grandfather. My grandfather, when I was growing up, was pretty much my rock, the guy who raised me, taught me everything that I should know, and pretty much was one of the most important people growing up. I'll remember climbing up the stairs, seeing my grandfather waiting at the top, arms outstretched, waiting for me to jump and catch me. Said to his heart, he might not be the most revealing of what's inside, but instead, he's a man of actions. In a world where we see actions speak louder than words, we do not show our actions as we should. You see, my grandfather was the type of man that would give up his bed for someone he loved. Now, I've only ever heard him say, I love you maybe a dozen times, but every day I knew his actions meant it. He may say some silly things from shut up or call me buckwheat after a cake, did a lot of stupid shit when I was younger, but it's the most weird insult I have ever heard. My grandfather stood 6 feet tall, strong, with chrome dome, clean-shaped head, and a Billy Goat gray goatee. He was even missing a few teeth, but I don't know the stories. You see, my grandfather used to have a full head of hair that in the 70s he wore a perm and got a big fur coat and brought my grandmother discos to dance. Even though he hated the music, he would put his best dancing shoes on, tone out the noise and dance all night with the woman on occasion. I still heard her whisper to my 4'10" tall grandma, my darling. Then my grandfather might have a temper that make a stick of TNT look like a bag of marshmallows reserved for those who were the ones he loved. And I remember stories. You see, once a drunk man talked down to my grandfather's brother. My grandfather asked for the man to stop. The moment the man opened his mouth again, my grandfather threw the man's head through a Tim Hortons window. Now, this might be a little extreme, but this is showing you what I mean when he would do anything for the people he loved. He taught me it's okay to feel, it's okay to cry, it's okay to be there and live. He taught me that the kind of conversations he has with my grandmother, staring at each other's eyes, can say more than any combination of 3 words can. He taught me it's okay to fear the world. You just have to keep on walking if you want to make it to the next day. Thank you. The next person I'd like to talk about is an author I read when I was about in grade 9 or 10. His name is Ned Mazzini. He wrote a couple books, one of them being It's Kind of a Funny Story. It turned into a pretty popular movie a couple years back. He's a pretty cool guy. He wrote a bunch of other cool books like Be More Chill, Teen Angst, The Other Normals, and stuff like that. I was once asked who my favorite author was. When I pulled your name out of a list of novelists, it was not from a list of school's literary greats instead. It was who understood me the most. So this one's for you, Ned. And all the hard times you got me through. It's kind of a funny story thinking about how alone I felt before I read your words. How alone I felt before I read your words. Then realizing that I'm in the same boat as a lot of people. Sorry. How alone I felt before I read your words, and realizing that I am the same boat as a lot of people out there. It takes time to figure out the next step when you're looking for it. You see, Ned was this cool guy that one day decided to fall into this little trap that we call depression, but it wasn't his own choice. He fell headfirst deep into this pool. As we fall beneath him, you see, Ned wrote a book about it once he was asked what his friends, what was it like, and they ostracized him for it. So this kind soul decided to take back, move it, open it, and start the story off with a comedic tone saying, it's kind of a funny story, and then change the character from him to a small boy, then changed his name and hoped no one would see behind his mask, and they didn't. They chose not to, they forgot it, they moved past. Then he became this man, more like an animal behind a zoo, jumping through hoops, trying to dance while keeping a smile on his face, saying it's better for the human race this way, to be poor people's amusement, to be the laughter, to try and get people to take things seriously. So I understand this. Sometimes it's not the actual book, it's the message you have to say behind it. It's standing there and saying it's okay to feel this way, but if you need a minute to laugh, I'm still here. So I'd like to thank him for this, for teaching me how to get through hard times and take the laughter along with everything else life has to give you. The last person I want to talk about is actually my girlfriend, and Ridley. She's got me through a lot of hard times. I love you, I tell you that I cannot sing. My lungs are too broken, but I have this dream. My dream is one day waking up and giving my side smile. The darkness seems to be so far away, it's like an angel that casts away my demons for the length of time it takes me to say, I adore you. See, we don't use words like love that is far too easily mistaken for lust. We use far too regularly in today's society. It's like when I went to the flower shop and I told the girl that the counter her smile reminds me of happiness. I mean, literal happiness on my face, on reflection, you smile. Now I probably went on for far too long. People lined up behind me, coffee, looking at watches, waiting for me to leave, being so thoughtless. Then the girl with the kind of nerves that just sets the rope to try to push me out. It took all of me not to throw the rose back in her face. Clearly do not understand what I want to show her. I want to show her what love really is, not how love is received nowadays when roses are given away as sympathy. She is worth more than a high school cheap date that includes roses at the end. There is no balance of blue roses or red graphics laying in your bed moments here. She managed to drive the beams out of my brain that have been hot to me for my entire life. So please do not suggest a rose. No violets or tulips. I want something different. I want something worth her love. So as I stumbled through the aisles, I finally settled on a cactus that actually begun to flower bright deep pinks on a prickly base. Cashier looks at me funny. It's a metaphor, I say. I am the cactus, the flower she's done to me, so please believe me when I say I'm not as prickly as I used to be. I used to drink bottles until empty, hope would drown out the voice telling me that there's a better option. It really isn't. Not when living means I can be there with my darling, hold my darling, kiss my darling, be there to watch another sunset, sunrise, be there, and live with her. Thank you.